Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
There once was a time the president was honored. Police were respected. Newborns were treasured. And veterans were revered. Let's bring that back. Thus, the slogan of my program, as it has been for many years, the way things were are the way things ought to be. Morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, and of course brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, with all the tires you need to drive safely. Don't forget to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And our friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, that was a good one. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, see you at lunch.
You better believe it, buddy. Thank you very much. Right now, it's time for the weather, brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Hello, Roger. How you doing? Him and the crew, all the folks over there, really ready and raring to help you with the best tools and equipment to finish any and all jobs. Maybe you're not quite sure what you need to finish those jobs, and I urge you to give them a call at 678-3122, K&R Rental. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like the clouds are going to stick around and a chance of some precipitation. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly cloudy skies for today. We are expecting a high of 42, winds out of the southwest right around 5 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 31. Tomorrow, as we get ready for the weekend, snow in the morning, rain showers possible by the afternoon, new snow accumulations of less than a half of an inch is possible. Plus, it is going to be a little bit breezy, and we are expecting a high of 41 by tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 30. Saturday, we will see a little bit of sunshine with a high of 42, but by Saturday night, more clouds rolling in with a low of 33. Sunday, chance of rain and or snow showers in the morning, then rain likely by the afternoon, and a high of 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
I'll tell you, I love these 40-degree days. I'm telling you, I don't like being cold. Thank you very much, Gina. Weather brought to you by K&R Rental. The best of tools and equipment for your rental. And let me tell you, long or short term, just talk to them. They'll help you on everything you need. Located right on the Burley-Paul Highway. Number to call, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't go away. I want to remind everybody, too, about folks that have been in business for almost 7 decades. They are my friends. They are your friends, serving you with all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. They know, and they can help you. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. And I urge you to call this firm to help you. They've got the knowledge and the experience, almost 7 decades of serving you. And don't Don't forget the number, 678-0459, Ramsey Heating and Electric. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Today at the senior center, we're having chicken Alfredo and all the trimmings and delicious dessert. Tomorrow, don't miss it. It's French dip sandwiches and all the trimmings.
You know, I'm going to ask you a question, Joe. You've been around the world, around everywhere. Certainly you know how they came up with the name Chicken Alfredo.
Well, I really don't know. I didn't research that. I just repeat it.
Okay. God bless you, Joe. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for letting me.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Chicken Alfredo. I often wondered where they came up with the names, not only on certain foods and dishes, etc., but other things. I just wonder where the names came from. Don't forget, too, our dear friends, the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce is having a huge, I mean really big, banquet this next Thursday on the 30th, and I want you to be a part of it. It's the annual installation banquet put on by the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be at the Best Western Inn and Convention Center in Burley, and the doors open up at 6 o'clock. Holy moly, they're going to have a lot of fun. Dinner, auction, installation of board of directors, honoring outstanding individuals, and tickets are available at 679-4973. Call them, Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce. Oh, my. To say the least, I could not believe, and I mean this, I tried, folks. I tried, but I failed. I failed you. I'm so sorry. I could not muster enough comfort and ease to sit there in my lazy boy and listen to Adam Schiff, this sleazy little bug-eyed man, talk in a monologue and in a monotone for 2.5 hours yesterday. I'm not kidding you. I cannot stand the man, and I don't think many people do, but you have to give the guy credit. I mean, he was like the ever-ready bunny. 2.5 hours of the same thing over and over again. It was pitiful. It really is pitiful that this country, the best country in the world ever, and if anybody doesn't agree with that, then leave, please, has to put up with this kind of garbage. It was so pitiful listening, and painful too, to try to listen to this man that is just absolutely consumed with the hatred against the Republican Party being in power. And here's another thing, too, that needs to be said, and this isn't me talking. It's people that really were watching, grading, and understanding what was true and what wasn't true in his 2.5-hour marathon. He came out with at least 12, I'm not making this up, at least 12 lies. Lies, underline what it is, that cannot be verified. They're falsehoods, and his twisting of actually what happened. And nobody called him on it. Nobody called him on it. That's insane. Adam Schiff stated that Trump has to be removed now from office. Why? Because, listen to this, it's very important. He, Trump, will cheat and win the next election. So the Democrats are playing their cards face up on the table, and they're not real smart about it, to be honest with you. What they're telling you is, we can't stand, literally, we hate Donald Trump. We know we haven't got any horsepower that can beat him, and so we're going to lay the groundwork of saying he's going to cheat and win the next election, even though they have nothing but a bunch of plow horses that are running for the nomination on the Democratic side of the aisle. And I just, anything that happens in this next election, it's got to be a landslide. Everybody needs to go to the polls and vote for a re-election for Donald Trump. If you don't agree with that and you're on the left, boy, I'd love you to call me and just tell me, whoa, boy, who's your candidate and why? But I put that offer out before, and of course the Democrats, they have no gumption to come on this program. They've been invited many times. You know that. But this gobbledygook is going to continue again today. And here's what's really funny about this, folks. Many of the networks are cutting back on their saying, well, we'll cover this, we'll do this. They're going to other programming. It is so boring. And even some of the senators that when the camera panned the room, they were in sleep land. Many had dozed off with their hands under their chins so that they wouldn't bang their forehead on the microphones in front of them. I mean, it's absolutely... And even Mitch McConnell had dozed off. And when he came to, it was kind of funny. His eyes rolled around and his eyelids fluttered. And, I got to pay attention here. And they're not allowing these guys to have coffee. No. They're making them just drink nothing but milk. And for obvious reasons. But they're sitting there for 10, 11, 12, 13 hours with the same old. Nothing is being done for the benefit of the country. Nothing. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a call. Thursdays, I love your calls. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley. We are going to be there in a matter of hours at 11:30 for lunch bunch. Now, I want everybody to be there. I've got some important messages to give you, and I want everybody to try to be there at 611 North Overland and Burley at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. And we'd like to thank for the gift certificates Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, and Denny's. Thank you very much. We're going to dine with the best of food put before us by the great folks at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, Zeb's Lunch Bunch at 11:30. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Also, I want to quickly tell you about our friends at Dino's Septic Service. You know, nobody wants to stand outside, regardless of the time, the weather, or whatever, and pump out a septic tank. Well, they do. Dino's Septic Service is a service that absolutely does a job that you don't want to do. All you need to do is give them a call and have them serve you at 436-6526 or in Burley, 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service. I know because they've worked for us. Dino's Septic Service with a big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, good morning and thank you.
Hi, Zeb. None of them could do anything about it because they took that vow of silence that if any of them said anything, they could be kicked out or even imprisoned.
Yeah. I mean, this is...
They couldn't do anything.
Let me ask you, my dear lady, if all of a sudden tomorrow you were told that you had to go to a meeting and you were going to sit through this meeting from 8 in the morning until 8 or 9 o'clock at night, with only a couple of bathroom breaks and a small lunch break, boy, wouldn't you be excited to attend that?
I would be one that would be imprisoned.
I'd be right there with you, too.
I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Not with that idiot.
Oh, my goodness. You know, to sit there and have to be, it would be like in prison, wouldn't it? It'd be like being in prison and you had to listen and you had to show attentiveness to Adam Schiff. I mean, that is, I couldn't either.
I had to change it.
Oh, I couldn't either. They'd find somebody else in my seat, and like you, I'd be probably under the threat of arrest and imprisonment because I couldn't do that. God bless you for your call. It's always good to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Nice lady right there. I can't do that. I cannot sit still, honestly, for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12. I can't even imagine that. My back gives out after I'm on this program for about 3 hours, where I have to get up every hour on the hour and run around this, well, run's a bad word, go travel in mobility around my office a couple of times just to sit back in the chair and feel like I can make it the next hour. I can't imagine what these senators are having to go through listening to this absolute droning on and on of Adam Schiff. Maybe it's true. There is hell here on earth. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to just say that what they're proving at this Senate trial, if you want to call it that, is that the Democrats really don't have a case. I mean, sure, you can sit there and listen to Schiff saying, undeniably he is guilty, undeniably he's this, and we have absolute 100% proof. What is the proof? And above all that, what is the charge? Oh, sure, you're going to say that maybe he obstructed justice for the Congress and was an obstruction to them. No. Really, something that's impeachable for the highest office in the land, or in that matter, in the world, the presidency of the United States of America? So many people have said it that it's boring, but it is the truth. In this case of President Donald Trump, they are prosecuting him, and then they're going to go out and find a crime that will possibly stick. They don't have anything right now. And I've never seen anything like this. They're going after the guy, and they're telling him, and you heard it again yesterday if you listened to that monologue, they're telling him, Mr. Trump, if you want to prove yourself innocent, you better get on the ball. You don't have to prove yourself innocent in this country. When somebody makes a charge against you, you are innocent until proven guilty. These dumb Democrats don't know really how this country's judicial system works. My blood pressure's going up. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget, Monday at 10:30, of course, the Idaho Legislative Update, and next Monday we're going to be featuring Senator Kelly Anthon, and we're looking forward to having him on the air. And, of course, that program is sponsored by some really great folks, and that's Handy Truck Lines. They've been serving businesses in Idaho and the Northwest for many, many, many years. The best Handy Truck Lines, bringing us again Idaho Legislative Update at 10:30 on Mondays. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please, I really mean this when I say it. And I know that there are people out in the audience that are going to go, you're just a Democrat hater. Well, hate's a very strong word to use, but I just dislike their so-called platform. I dislike the way that they are trying to take over this country. I dislike the way that they want to treat us as all second-class citizens and just get our billfolds out of our pocket and keep handing them money. I dislike their no-value policies. I dislike the way that they want to take apart family and moral values and discard them on the side of the road. And so my point is, I guess, when you go to the polls this next November, I really would not like to see, notice what I said, not like to see any Democrat take an office, whether it's local, state, or national. I think they're pitiful, absolutely pitiful with what they're trying to represent as a party. Now, I would be more than gracious. Oh, my, how many times have I said this? I would be more than gracious and welcome them into my studio or on my phone line, pardon me, anytime they want to come on and discuss some of the issues from, from their point of view. I remember vividly one Democrat that I called a couple of years ago. Pardon me just a moment. I've got a frog in my throat. I think the frog jumped away. I remember vividly when I called one of the Democrats that everybody's heard her name mentioned on my program in the past, and I got her on the line. It was in the afternoon after my program, and she hung up on me. Oh, what classy people. Oh, my, how professional. I invited her to come on my program and discuss the Democratic platform and the position she was running for, and click! Down went the phone. Really high-class people. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Here is something that we can all get around and smile and enjoy. Today is National Pie Day. I'm not kidding you. It's National Pie Day. I am going to break out someplace, and I'm going to stop someplace sometime this afternoon in all my running and traveling, and I'm going to have a piece of peach pie. I can do it today and not feel guilty because it is National Pie Day. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear? And I really, this kind of is alarming to me because I feel like we, with common sense, are losing to the people that are trying to set their hair on fire and run down the middle of the road into oncoming traffic. Oh, the sky is falling. We're all burning up. Climate change. Oh, help us. What a pity. Now, restaurants in California. Restaurants in California are going to add another tax onto the already super expensive meals that you buy at various restaurants in California. It is called the Restore California Renewable Restaurant Program. And what they're going to do is charge an extra 1 point something % onto your bill that will, they say, go to fight climate change. Now, I doubt it. And then they say part of the money is going from the initiative, listen to this, farmers, listen really close, to have them, the elites, go to farmers in California and help farmers be educated in making changes in their fields that would help capture carbon dioxide, CO2, because they, the elites, consider the chief contributor to climate change, CO2. Folks, one of my dear friends, Dr. Arp, is a noted, certified agronomist, really understands what's going on. And this world needs and is better because of CO2. And now these elite people that don't know come here from Sikkim are going to organize through this extra 1% put on the meal check, and they're going to try to educate farmers. Oh, that's going to go over so well. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, don't these dummies realize that without CO2, our plants wouldn't grow? They would have nothing growing in the field, or anything.
Rodney, I can't answer your question because I'm absolutely at a loss trying to figure out how badly their minds have been shaped and molded in negativity against the obvious.
Obviously, they've been brainwashed to the extreme.
I mean, some of the things that they say about, well, we've got to educate farmers to cut way down on CO2, and we've got to make sure that we take CO2 out of the atmosphere. That's their comments, not mine. You can't take it out of the atmosphere.
Sometimes certain people's stupidity just absolutely astounds me.
It overwhelms me that because of a dumbed-down society, starting in kindergarten, going all the way up to the college and university ranks, that we have slipped this far, this fast, into just biting a hook with no worm on it from the Democrats and the liberal left. When are we going to wake up and say enough is enough?
I don't know. Probably when we've lost all our freedoms, and then it'll be too late.
You got it. And very unfortunately, I think you've got it. Thank you, Rod. God bless you. I'll see you at Lunch Bunch. Well, I hope that I'm wrong, too, and I hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but I hope it's not a train coming at us head on.
Yeah, same here.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. I read through this note of this one, I believe he's from Japan, and he owns a restaurant in California, and here's one of his quotes that they attributed to him at his restaurant. For restaurant owners, the easiest way to help with carbon sequestration is to help farmers adopt measures and to make their fields retain rather than emit carbon. These include adding compost to improve soil health, planting cover crops in between cash crops, and planting hedgerows with woody plants that store carbon in their roots. Oh my. So here we have restaurant owners and others that are going to try to tell the best farmers in the world how to farm. Nobody in the world anywhere else knows as much about agriculture and crops and production than our American farmers. Nobody. And now we've got some restaurant owners. I chuckle at this because people buy into this idiocy. Now we've got restaurant owners going to tell farmers how to farm. Oh, okay. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Caller, good morning. Talk to me, caller. You're on the air, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, Zeb, but if we start manipulating the farmers in this country and doing things to hamstring them, pretty soon we'll have to have our food supply coming in from foreign countries. And if that happens, anytime somebody wants to take over our country, or they will say, hey, we will take your food supply away from you. That's how we will conquer you.
You know, and what you just said, Tony, is so appropriate and so realistic. About 5 months, no, not that long. It was about 3 months ago. I had a gentleman, and I use that term loosely on my program from back east. His name was John Tamney. I don't know if you remember him being on the air or not. And he was making a vocal urge to eliminate all American agriculture because he said it would be better for everybody and also better for the climate if we eliminated all American agriculture. I went through the phone line and wanted to just slap him in the face for his complete idiocy, and we argued a little bit back and forth, but he had his mindset, and mostly people on the left, like I said earlier, they don't know Khmer from Sikkim, and it's that kind of philosophy saying, well, we can bring in all the food cheaper from other areas. Well, first of all, other areas, other countries do not have even a tenth or a skosh as good of production and as safe a production of our foods that we can do right here in the United States. And Tony, think about the devastation of this country, about all of our farmers and ranchers being unemployed. What are they going to do? Where are they going to go? And our food supply is at jeopardy because of, like somebody you said, that's enough. Don't feed America anymore. We're done. We're toast.
Well, we are. You know, if they want to send contaminated food over here, we'd never know it. Because we don't know what they're putting in their fertilizers or anything else.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, anybody that advocates that kind of foolish and stupid thinking should be hauled out on the carpet, and they should absolutely be ridiculed. And the American public has got to step up and say, wait a minute, we are losing everything due to a very suppressive left wing of politics that wants to take us over and make us all slaves to their party.
Well, that would grossly affect our economy, too.
Oh, yes.
Our farmers.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, everybody ought to thank a farmer for what they do and encourage them to keep on doing it. I'm fed up with lunacy in politics today. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, Jeff.
All right. Thank you very much. You know, am I getting anything under the table from agriculture? No. Am I getting anything under the table from the potato industry or the beef industry or the dairy industry or anything else? No. But without them, just think for a couple of seconds, it won't take long, how devastating it would be to this United States of America if they weren't here. Caller, good morning.
Well, compost.
Oh, by the way, good morning to you too, Randy.
And, of course, now everybody's doing it.
Right.
And it wasn't because some environmentalist told them to do it. In fact, I know the first one who started it. I have clients across this valley, truckers, dairymen, farmers, ranchers. And, I never told them how to do their business because as good as I was a pretty good farmer, but I quit on purpose. But these guys are better. And I don't have no, intent of telling you how to be a radio host any more than I would tell them how to do their business. I said this the other day, and it's to be noted. Across this nation, in Buell, Idaho, a farmer raised 211 bushel per acre on an 80-acre field, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Of winter wheat. 211 bushel per acre. It's a record. Nobody told him how to do it. Nobody should ever bother these people. Do you think these farmers, ranchers, dairymen, they were the first environmentalists? My dad was worried about runoff back in the 60s.
Randy, wait a minute. Randy, let me jump in here.
Their fingers in our business, and they already do. They would destroy it, and the world would starve, and we would starve in America. It'd be Venezuela and Iran right here.
I agree. Let me jump in.
Sorry.
The problem I'm seeing with the liberal left, these loons that are making all these demands and prognostications, they are absolutely so totally uneducated as to what the truth is and the value is of various things like CO2. Randy, you farmed, okay? You farmed for years. Your family's been in agriculture for years. Please tell this restaurant owner by the name, and I'm trying to find his name that's leading this charge, Anthony Mint is the guy that's leading this charge to make sure that CO2 is in the ground and doesn't go anywhere. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's there's the farmers are already planting cover crops. Their topsoil is their life. They understand that if somehow it washes away, they need to be able to go save it and retrieve it and put it back in place. I mean, if you go out here like I'm like you. I drive around in the country. You live in the country. You see what they do. Do you see any one of them that's in business that has been irresponsible or a bad manager? If they were, they're not there anymore. They're gone.
Now, right there, I'm going to jump in on you again, and because you just made an outstanding point. My son-in-law, of whom I'm very proud of, is, underline that word, one of the most respected farmers anywhere here in southern Idaho. And I mean that. And he has told me some of the rules and regulations and all the things that they adhere to for the safety of the crop and everything else. And I will stand up and fight anybody at any time that starts to run down and denigrate our American agriculture, because those people that do that denigration and running down of agriculture are blatantly stupid.
I'm going to tell you right now, the governors of Oregon, Washington, California have no love in their hearts for agriculture at all, and they're so stupid. They have no idea what it means. Governor Inslee was involved of Washington, Jay Inslee.
Yep.
He's as dumb as a post. And he was literally they were denigrating farmers upstream and saying that they were polluting the streams, and it was all a big sham.
Yeah.
And I don't know if these farmers have ever received any kind of compensation.
Would you agree with this statement quickly, and then I've got to do a commercial? Yeah. Would you agree that today more so than ever before in the nation's history, we are looking at leadership that knows nothing other than wearing three-piece suits and wingtip shoes, and they've never got their hands dirty in the soil?
Absolutely not. In fact, Mike Simpson was born in Blackfoot. Well, I know he was from Blackfoot. I don't know if he was born there. I don't care. But the thing of it is he was surrounded by agriculture. His client, his dentist, he was a dentist. His patients were, a majority of them had to be involved in agriculture in one way or another. And he is talking about breaching the lower dams on the Snake, which would shut down all freight from Lewiston.
That is the most.
Go into all the details, but you ain't got time.
I don't right now, but I tell you what, you're hitting a subject that we're going to be doing some programming on in the next couple of weeks after I get back from a little hiatus from the program. Thank you, Randy, and I do always appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Well, we just want to, every day I want to do my best.
Well, you are. Thank you.
I'm trying.
All right. Now, I'll tell you what, you better stay that way, too, because I'll take your gold star off the wall.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. See you later. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. All of my advertisers and sponsors on this program, I really, really appreciate them. And these folks at Barry Equipment and Rental, they've got 3 locations, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Napa location for all the equipment that you need for lifting, digging, pushing, carrying, grading, leveling, laying sod. Oh, my. They've got all the big dudes and the little dudes, too, the Doosan wheel loaders and excavators, all the Bobcats. Got a brand new inventory at their locations. Check it out today at Barry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Napa. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. Just one question. Do you know what they inject into greenhouses to help their plants grow faster?
Oh, gee, Doug, let me scratch my head and try to come up with an answer. Why, you're certainly not talking about CO2.
Exactly. These people in California are ignorant when it comes to the ways of the world. They are so self-absorbed that the only thing they can think of is themselves. They have been fed a line of crap about the green energy, and they are believing it.
Can you imagine, and by the way, wheels, turn Doug up just a little bit if you can. Can you imagine a world where we let these lefty kooks take over and the minimization of CO2 or the destruction of it and your planet? I mean, you'd be talking of a planet devoid of any vegetation, cold temperatures, people freezing to death, and eventually dying. The human race would be at a suffer level that it would not be able to procreate, and we would become extinct.
Yes, and we have proven fact what these Democrats will do if they take over America. Look what they've done to California. When President Reagan was governor of California, they had one of the biggest economies in the U.S., the strongest middle class, and they were doing fantastic. Now the Democrats have taken it over. They have problems with homeless people defecating, or I can't remember. Anyway, going to the bathroom on the streets and shooting up drugs on the streets, and they do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what America will look like if the Democrats take over.
That's exactly right.
A socialist third world country.
That's exactly right. I'm going to throw one other little fly in the milk to you. When I was rodeoing full-time, announcing rodeos all over the United States and Canada, I very often frequented the state of California. I was down there often for major rodeos in that state. And let me throw this at you. With the problems that they're having with homelessness in California, and people, like you tried to say a moment ago, defecating in the streets, urinating in the streets, and all the filth and the rats and everything. Let me ask you this, Doug. If you go to California this next summer, would you be really jolly and happy about attending a restaurant because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in the kitchen or out in the alleyway?
No, I won't go to California.
There you go.
I went there on a honeymoon to San Francisco in this was in the early 70s, and it was a beautiful place. I mean, I rode the trolley cars going up and down the hills. I went on Fisherman's Wharf, and it was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I guess you go down there now, and you got to watch where you step.
Absolutely.
Or you're going to puncture yourself with a needle, or step in something you usually find out in your lawn after your dog goes out. And
here's the thing I want to mention to you. There was a story out, I think it was on Monday, and I wished I had that right here in my hand. News reporter that travels down there and is getting a lot of information about the homeless problem and the defecation on the streets and the needles and everything. Went home and did not take his shoes off, and now there is some kind of a skin rash or reaction that all of his family is being suffered by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is like over in England when they had the plague, because they had bad sewers.
Absolutely.
So that's what's going to happen in California, and it has already started. There's been doctors talking about it.
Absolutely. The whole problem is just absolutely so unnecessary, and I'll stand behind those words. Doug, I'm late. Look at your watch. I got to get a weather forecast on here, so I'll let you say your final words. I got to run.
Okay, well, my clock only says 11:15, so you're doing okay.
Well, I don't want to rely on your clock.
Okay. Anyway, everybody, let's take care of our senior centers. They built this country and handed it to us in a great condition. Let's continue that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug.
Also support their senior centers.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Caller, I'll be right there. Give me 1 minute, and don't go away. I want to talk a little bit about Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, serving you with all your hearing health needs. They are committed to providing expert diagnostic tests combined with the best technology to provide the most comprehensive treatment for your hearing anywhere, anytime. I urge you to call and make an appointment. 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like the clouds are going to stick around and a chance of some precipitation. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly cloudy skies for today. We are expecting a high of 42, winds out of the southwest right around 5 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 31. Tomorrow, as we get ready for the weekend, snow in the morning, rain showers possible by the afternoon, new snow accumulations of less than a half of an inch is possible. Plus, it is going to be a little bit breezy, and we are expecting a high of 41 by tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 30. Saturday, we will see a little bit of sunshine with a high of 42, but by Saturday night, more clouds rolling in with a low of 33. Sunday, chance of rain and or snow showers in the morning, then rain likely by the afternoon, and a high of 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
Thank you, Gina. She does an outstanding job, as do the folks over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Like I said, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to call, 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb. I just turned my radio on and hear you talking about California. I won't drive a truck into California. I have no desire to visit California. I used to want to go down to Knott's Berry's farm and all that, and I have no desire anymore. My 5-year-old little girl, she wants to go to Disneyland and see all the Disney princesses, which I would rather fly to Florida than California. There's nothing there. They're ruining their state. They're ruining their tourism. And I wonder how long, I keep wondering to myself, how long is this going to go on before the people of California realize that they're hanging themselves?
I don't know, Riley. It's a question that you can ask, and you never can get a definitive or affirmative answer because with the leadership, if you want to call it that, by Gavin Newsom, a so-called clown that's leading the state as governor, there's nothing going to be done. The numbers are going to be increased and enhanced of homelessness and the problems on the streets. Store owners are fleeing California on a daily basis just to get away from the cesspool that they're trying to do business with. And to talk about how serious it is, every single day, this one business was saying they have to mop the floors 3 times a day to make sure that there is not spread of diseases because of the walk-in traffic on what's on their shoes.
It's disgusting as all heck, man. I have no desire to go there at all. And I feel bad for the people who live there that are working and trying to make it better and trying to keep it good. You know, the farmers and ranchers in Northern California and the people that used to grow out in the orchards that are no longer there because some little microscopic snail or something silly.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for those people. They need to move and go to a state that appreciates them. But I won't ever go to California. There's nothing there that I left and nothing I want back.
I appreciate your call as always, Riley. Thank you very much. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. No, I mean, when you get some restaurant owners and civic people, so-called civic leaders that have never been out on the farm, they don't understand agricultural production, they don't understand what it takes for real work to produce the food that is transported all across our great nation and, for that matter, the world. And then they say they're going to help teach farmers. That's laughable. Come on, that's laughable. It's insanity. But yet it's our fault because we're not dismissing these people. We're not laughing them off and telling them, please go sit in the back of the room. Don't raise your hand to go to the bathroom or the library until you can complete the course of education so that you know really what you're talking about. And they don't. And they get the media. I listened last night to CNN and MSNBC to listen and get a different take on things as to what's going on with these proceedings in the Senate. I sat there and my jaw dropped. I mean, these people that were on those two networks had the combined IQ of a bicycle spoke. And they're on national network news. It was appalling. Let's not forget our major sponsor, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires. Now, I want you to realize and remember this, that I'm talking all kinds of tires. I'm not talking about just your pickup SUV and your trailer tires. I'm talking about tires for your loaders on the farm, your backhoes, your skid steers, everything. They've got all your tires. And talk about service. Talk about service. Dairymen, farmers, ranchers, everybody. Les Schwab has got service trucks ready to boop, and they start the engines, and they're on the way to serve you. These folks are the best. Make no bones about it. And when it comes to brake service and front-end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries, yep, number 1. Don't forget to stop in or see or give a call to Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike in Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. I got time for one more call. Give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to give one more high five and a salute to our president, President Trump. This is a man that is willing and able and is going this Saturday to be a participant at the March for Life in Washington, D.C. Earlier this week, I had a lady on the program talking about it, and our president will be at the pro-life march this weekend in D.C., and I salute him. He is absolutely an advocate for the unborn and right to life, and I say kudos to President Donald Trump. And I'm going to stick behind that. You don't like it? Give me a call. We'll talk about it. Oh, boy, will we ever. And let me see what else. Oh, and in a sports note, a guy that's played 16 years for the same NFL team, never asked to be traded, didn't want to be traded, wanted to wear the blue and the red and the white of the New York Giants for his career, and he did. He is retiring today, and that's Eli Manning. Yep. Peyton's younger brother is retiring as a professional football quarterback and going into retirement. Maybe. Some of the experts are saying, yeah, he retired, but he may sign a contract with another team. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Next hour, we're going to have the Chamber Report with Penny Main and then have a real good interview with Nick Greenwell over at Burley Physical Therapy. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, old buddy, old pal. It's Lunch Bunch Day. Everybody be at Denny's, America's Diner at 11:30. Here's the news. I'll be back in 7. Oh, listen to that piano. Woo, I love the way they tickle those ivories. And good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires. You stop in and see them today. And don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. We're going to talk about them in just a moment at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Talking about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to having Nick on our program in just a little bit on an interview, and I urge you, if you're aching or paining, to get a hold of them today. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number, 678-1191. They honestly can help get you back to feeling like the old you. All their excellent physical therapists, the exercises, and, of course, the hydrotherapy pool at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. And a quick note about some very, very dear friends of ours at Hanson Mortuary. When there's the passing of a loved one, I urge you to remember the name, remember the number. They will be there to help serve your family and provide your family the very best possible support and comfort, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. That's Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Hewitt, his family, and his staff. And the number to call, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary. And, of course, you know that Joel Hewitt also is serving you and your families at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Well, it is Thursday, and right now we're going to go over the river and through the woods, and in this case the desert, over to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and the CEO and president sitting there in her high desk throne with a scepter in her left hand and waving it at her employees, Penny Main.
Yeah, just make sure you've got $5 if you need a cup of coffee. Drop my name.
I will.
$5.
How are you?
How you doing?
I am good. I'm really good. I'm anxious to get to the end of our little segment because I've got a trivia question that's going to put you back in a plus situation, I think.
Well, guess what?
What?
I've got one for you.
Oh, all right.
I've got one for you. But knowing you, you'll probably get it. But
well,
so we'll see how we both fare.
We will wait and see. Now, tell me, this week is a busy week for you folks.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. We are literally in the throes of, dotting I's and crossing T's for our installation banquet, which is actually 1 week from today at the Burley Best Western Inn. Things look bright and great. I believe tomorrow we're going to have to pull the plug on tickets. We are pushing sellout right now, so if you need tickets to our installation banquet and you haven't called us yet, please do that, 679-4793. Just want to give a quick shout-out to Nature Nursery Market, our title sponsors, along with the other good folks, ICCU, Wright Physical Therapy, Intermountain Casual Regional, D.L. Evans Bank, First American Title, and ISU Credit Union. We are looking forward to a really great event. Just yesterday in our Monday Motivator, we sent it out again yesterday and announced all the winners of the folks who are going to be honored at this year's event, and so we're looking very forward to that. And again, the future looks bright. So,
Great.
We're looking forward to seeing you, Zeb. I know you and Deanna are coming, and so it's going to be a great time, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Wait a minute. You had an event that is coming up. Do you want to talk about that Lunch and Learn event?
I did, friend. PMT gave me a call the front part of the week. We have been talking about that the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they have opted to cancel that event, which technically was for today. So if you planned on going to the Lunch and Learn today through PMT, please note that that event has been canceled. So if you have any questions, just get a hold of the folks at PMT.
Absolutely. Do you like chili?
You know I love chili.
And I know a place you can get some.
Yes, I do. The end of the month, of course, I guess it's actually next Friday. Gosh, I can't believe it's that close. How did that happen? At any rate, VFW Post 3043, they're going to put on a chili fest. It's hard to believe, but we have homeless veterans who live in this area. It just, I can hardly wrap my head around that, but we do. And so we're going to do a big chili fest, the VFW folks over there on Highland Avenue. And that's going to be set for January 31st, noon to 4, again, at their Highland location, 554 Highland Avenue. If you know a vet who needs some assistance, maybe they need some clothing, some warm blankets, oh my gosh, whatever the case may be, I can hardly stand to talk about it, to be quite honest. But the folks of the VFW 3043 will be glad to help. So if you have some donations, too, by the way, maybe of warm clothing, blankets, any of those kinds of things, their facility is open on Saturdays between noon and 5 for drop-off. So January 31st is going to be a great day. We're going to honor vets and the homeless vets. If you know someone, please take them over and get their tummies filled up.
Oh, my, you're on a roll. I'm not going to interrupt. You're doing great. Keep on going.
I got a froggy in my throat. Okay, I think it's gone now. Grace Church, in cooperation with Tim Tebow Foundation, hosts a night to shine. We've been talking about this, too. Grace Church is one of 650 churches throughout the world, literally, which has been designated to support the Tim Tebow Foundation's Night to Shine event. Again, February 7th, it's the prom for persons with special needs. I know the church has a force ready to go in lots of different ways, from limousines to hair and makeup and corsages and all sorts of fun things. So it's going to be a party to remember, February 7th at Grace Church. Here's the number if you need more information, 670-2274. And on another note, the Minidoka County Historical Society Museum is closed until April 1st. And why is because they're in there remodeling and repairing some things that were needed to happen. So if you need a tour, however, between now and April 1, you can call 570-3248. They'll be happy to give you a tour. Otherwise, the doors will be wide open on April 1st for full viewing. So it should be lots of fun for those folks. They're doing a lot of great things. Do you know Rick Parker, by the way?
I do.
Rick is a great guy.
Yes.
You and I probably both have known him for about the same amount of time. He's the new director at the Minidoka County Historical Museum. And so he's doing lots of great things over there. So, again, if you need some information on the museum over there in Minidoka County, 570-3248.
You know, you mentioned Rick Parker, and I've got to say this. It goes way back to when he was teaching at CSI. I mean, this guy's really a nice man.
Oh, he's a great guy. And he's been so helpful to us for a lot of different reasons. And, you know, he's been, not unlike you, you know, really involved in ag and knows kind of the comings and goings and the ins and outs of local agriculture. He's a great brain to pick from time to time, and he just knows a lot about the area, so it's always fun to talk to him. But, yeah, he's been a friend of mine, too, for a very long time, and I'll leave it at that. But
absolutely.
But, it's really nice that he's over there at the museum. They're going to do some great things, that's for sure.
Real quick, what about people wanting to become a chamber member?
Well, we're growing, and you know, as I keep saying, it's a great time to be in business in Mini-Cassia. We're happy to bring you on board and get you involved, get you networked with lots of different folks, and It's easy to do. You're welcome to call us here at the Chamber, and I still give these phone numbers out. That kind of dates me, but that's okay. 208-679-4793. For the younger generation, you can like us on Facebook. We're always giving tickets away or doing something fun on Facebook. Check out our website at minikashachamber.com. And typically, other than an event, we're open here out on the beautiful river Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So we would love to see and talk to you about becoming a member, how we can help move your business forward.
All right. It's ladies first. Go ahead.
Okay. So the real name of this movie star from back in the day when we were kids was Leonard Sly.
Roy Rogers.
Oh, darn you, Zeb Bell. I knew it. I give up. I've got one more for next week. We'll see if you got that.
Okay, I'm going to hit...
I did not know that. I was watching a documentary the other day on PBS.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about kind of that whole time when all those Westerns came out and one thing and another. And I didn't know that he was... Did you know he was part of the Sons of the Pioneers, too, though?
Yes, and I'll hit you with another one right there. Did you ever remember the TV series Gunsmoke?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember Festus?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that man, Festus, his real name was Ken Curtis, and he also was a very long-time member of the Sons of the Pioneers.
You are kidding me. I had no idea. That was the most interesting documentary. I just chewed all of that up. It was just wonderful.
Yeah, Ken Curtis resided in California after the series. As a matter of fact, he lived only a few houses down from James Arness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
I had a chance to meet...
The good old days.
I had a chance to meet Ken at the Clovis Rodeo. This has been quite a few years ago, about 15, 16 years ago, before he passed away, and an amazingly nice man. And but you're taking my time by giving you a little trivia, but I'm going to give you your question right now. I know you can answer this, okay? Here we go. What city in England became world famous with the Beatles?
Liverpool.
She did it.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel so much better about myself.
I'll
bet.
bet.
I can go forward today knowing that I got it, right?
Well, I want to tell the president and CEO of the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce, your star is lit up and shining. Thank you so much.
Thanks, hon. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Take care, Penny.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Penny Main, Chamber of Commerce. Got to tell you real quick, I'm running a little bit late. Wheels is sitting there going, Zeb. Hey, let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Boy, have they got all the fun for you. All the snowmobiles, all the snow bikes. They've got everything. You better get on over. I'm telling you, snow, 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 fun in the snow. And you stop over. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Don't forget, really nice folks. And that's, of course, Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. And don't forget, too, they got a super service department to keep you running. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Right now, it's time to listen to our dear friend Nick Greenwell over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation.
Oh, my. I get a chance right now to talk to a good friend and a very knowledgeable friend when it comes to exercises, physical fitness, and if you're injured, where you should go. And that's, of course, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Nick Greenwell, and he is also the owner of a great place that we all should check out, Elite Fitness at 1200 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Doing well, Zeb. How are you?
Not too bad. You know, we talk about the injuries, and we talk about the recuperation, and we talk about the aching and the paining and how to come back and get yourself back to being you. But really, a good exercise program would help eliminate, I think, a lot of the chances of being injured. Okay. That leads us to Elite Fitness.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You hit it right on the head.
Thanks.
We do tons and tons of physical therapy, and then, you know, obviously when we get to the end of their formal program, people don't come here forever. They come and kind of get through the tough part of their program or their rehab process after surgery or whatever it is, and then it's time to progress
to a home-based program. And a lot of people, don't have the equipment or the space or the knowledge or whatever to do that. And so that's one of the reasons that we decided to delve into the fitness world and purchase Elite Fitness. And so when we finish up with folks down here, we take them down there and set them up on a very individualized personal program for them to continue on independently. And we follow up with them intermittently from that point on, and it has been fantastic. People absolutely love it, and it's been a really good thing for us.
Well, let me ask you, when you say the words personal program, I mean, does a person like myself, they come in and they say, well, I want to work on this. I want to maybe lose some extra little around the middle or whatever. I mean, do they design the programs and exercises from that juncture? Explain that a little bit.
Absolutely, yes. And so if I refer someone down there from my office after we've been doing a clinical program, what I usually do is meet them down there for our last visit, show them around, speak specifically about goals, what to do, and even more importantly, if we're recovering from an injury or something like that, what not to do, what to avoid, and sometimes that's even more important. And then we also have a brand new personal trainer down there by the name of Brittany Murphy, and she is offering a free 1-hour session with all of our new clients. And so not only will I be meeting with my patients down there to kind of get them transitioned, but everyone will also be meeting with Brittany to speak more specifically about goals and things like that. We also have a new system down there that Brittany's running. We just got an InBody 270 system, and what that is a machine that calculates body fat and lean body mass and water weights and all of that fun stuff, BMI, and so we can do baseline measurements on folks. Not only, everyone gets all concerned about weight, right? Everybody just wants to lose a few pounds. I just want to lose weight. But more importantly, if we're losing weight, we want to decrease our cholesterol maybe and our blood pressure and all of those other things that go along with that. And that's where we can kind of help monitor those things down there with that system. And so we're super excited about that.
You know, Nick, let me ask you this question, and you and I have never talked about this either on the air or off the air. Should exercise programs be kind of a buddy system or a husband and wife system? I mean, you got to keep the enthusiasm up, and sometimes you can't do it by yourself.
Well, that's always the best bet. We love the buddy system. Not only is it safer if we're in the back and lifting and we're doing anything with heavier weights or anything like that. It's always nice to have somebody there to spot you and do things like that. But motivation is huge, right? We all set these big goals in January. Our New Year's resolution is to go to the gym or lose a few pounds or lose a few inches or decrease our blood pressure, whatever it is. And it gets really easy, really fast to say, I had a long day at work, I'm not going to go tonight, or I don't want to get up in the morning or whatever. But if you have somebody that's relying on you to be there or you've committed to, it's a lot easier to get there. And so we find that system is very, very, very much superior to just trying to do it on your own.
Well, tell me about this. If they join and they become a member of Elite Fitness, do they have to be there at a certain time? Do they have regulations on when they can exercise? Explain that a little bit.
Not at all. So at Elite, we're a 24-hour gym, and so when you sign up, you get an electronic key. You just swipe that at the door when you want to come in. And so if for some reason you're a late night or a super early morning person and you want to go in at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning or whatever, then you have access to the entire gym at all hours of the night if that's what you prefer. So no, we have, like I say, we staff the gym Monday through Friday from 11 to 6, and so that's when you would need to come in and get signed up and do those kind of things where there needs to be a staff member there. But aside from that, no. We have a whole list of fitness classes that range from early morning to going into the early evening and even some Saturday classes now. I also have a web designer working on the final phases of our new web system, and that will be integrated to where you can sign up online, make payments online, do all that kind of stuff, so you don't necessarily have to be there to sign up during business hours.
Let me ask you this question. A lot of people that are my age or older or even younger, but up in their years, they maybe don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they know that they want to tone up a little bit. What would you tell them?
We have a ton of people that like that in that situation at our gym. It's a very comfortable environment. It's not intimidating. It's not a giant... There's not huge weights everywhere and big muscle guys running around grunting and screaming. And it's like I say, it's just a very comfortable hometown kind of feeling that's very welcoming and inviting. We have a lot of low-impact machines. that aren't going to beat your joints up. If you're 80 and you've got arthritis, and you don't want that. And so we have a very good system. And again, when we initiate services, either myself or Brittany will work with them to show them what's the best for them, what's dangerous, what not to do. And we're also getting ready to start a group fitness class that's designed for seniors called Silver and Fit, and it's run through Medicare and some other insurances. And so once we start that, I'll have more information about that, and usually it's going to be free to them. And it's a good low-impact course that's designed to tone muscles and really work on balance, because we start to see, our elderly folks have falls and things like that, and then we have all kinds of other issues. So
wow.
We have a lot of senior members, and again, they love it because it's very inviting and not uncomfortable, and we have plenty of things suited just for them.
Now, tell me, if they have questions after they hear this on the tape as to the times and when Brittany's there and how they can sit down and basically get a personalized workout program for themselves, what do they do?
Well, pick up the phone right now. It's 678-2155. Our office manager's name is Cheyenne, and again, she's there Monday through Friday from 11 to 6. But you can also call Burley Physical Therapy and ask questions here at 678-1191. We also have a Facebook page, Elite Fitness Burley, and it has all of our information there, a list of our classes, our prices, everything.
I'll tell you what, you are a man of many talents, and you do a great job at all of them. First of all, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Nick Greenwell, a physical therapist and the owner of Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, and also Elite Fitness at 1200 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Nick, I tell you, I don't know what you're going to do in your spare time, but we appreciate the information, and we'll send everybody there.
All right, fantastic. Can't wait to see you down there and watch you sweat.
Okay, buddy. Thanks an awful lot. Appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness. I enjoy Nick. He's just a really, really good guy, as are all the members of Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation and Elite Fitness. Thank you so much. Want to also give a great big shout-out and a howdy to Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. My, Todd and the crew, they really know. They really know all about life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, and can and will help you, your family, and your business. All you have to do is just call, make an appointment. The number, easy to remember. Write it down, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. The name, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Every now and then I get that little frog in my throat, kind of the same frog evidently that was in Penny Maine's throat just a little bit ago. Now it's made home in mine. Let's see, we're going to be giving PLF a call here in just a minute. But before we do that, I also want to acknowledge a public service announcement. The 6th Annual Soil Health Workshop for this year, 2020, is going to be held on Thursday, February 6th at the Best Western Burley Inn and Convention Center in Burley. And they need to know if you're going to show up. And it starts at 7:45 in the morning, goes till the afternoon with all kinds of interesting speakers and sessions. And to RSVP and let them know that you're going to be there, call either of these two numbers, 572-3369 or 436-4202. Don't forget that. We're going to be at Lunch Bunch today at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, and I urge you to join us. We need more new faces, so try to be there at 11:30 this morning at Denny's Restaurant. And our big thanks go out to our gift certificate donors, Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, and Denny's. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do to help support Lunch Bunch at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. Thank you very much.
Sir?
Yes.
Could I get a repeat real quick, if by chance, for Mrs. Williams? Did I have it right?
Let's see. Molly Williams, and the number was 916.
Okay.
503.
Okay.
9009.
9009. All right, thank you, sir.
All right, keep trying. Keep plugging away at that. We got to get her on the air. Thank you.
Will do.
All right. While we're waiting, I would appreciate it if you give me a call, and we'll talk about anything and everything that's on your mind. And the number to call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle. Let's see. Trump was this week, as you know, over at Davos, Switzerland. And I think he hit it right on the head. There's been a lot of criticism about Donald Trump over in Switzerland because he would not kowtow to the insanity of global warming / climate change. And basically, he compared climate change activists to radical socialists. And the left absolutely tipped their ice cream cones upside down and went nuts. And they don't like Donald Trump. They don't like his standing up against the idiocy of climate change and man-controlled climate. And I'm just absolutely supportive of this president. I'm absolutely supportive of Donald Trump. And during his speech, he appeared to belittle those warning of a so-called climate catastrophe. And the quote is this: "We must reject the perennial prophets of doom. They are heirs of yesterday's foolish fortune tellers," Donald Trump said. And they want the United States to do badly. And these people, these prophets of doom, were comparing all of us to naysayers and not real bright people. But I absolutely stand for what Donald Trump is saying. He said, "We'll never let radical socialists eradicate our liberty." And that's exactly what the socialists want. They want us to kowtow to this insanity of climate change. I will say it again, thanks to a dear friend of mine that gave me this phrase in the first place, and I give tribute to Rodney if you're listening. God is the only one with his hand on the thermostat, not mankind. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Wheels, are we finding that lady or not?
Yes, sir. She's ready on the...
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Deanne, hand me that. Thank you. I appreciate all your help. And right now on the phone with me from the Pacific Legal Foundation, don't scare us like that, Molly Williams.
Hi there. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we thought for a minute you were persona non grata and gone. And so it's really a treat to have you on the program. Molly, let me ask you this. What in the world is going on now with another lefty move, it seems like, to where it's an assault on the First Amendment to stop music on the street in Houston, Texas? What is all this about?
Sure. So last week, Tony Barilla, our client in this lawsuit, he's a Houston-based musician, filed this lawsuit to challenge Houston's law regulating busking. And so what the city is doing in Houston, Texas, is they're actually banning performing your instrument for tips in public throughout the city, except for a very small part of the city. It's a mere 8 blocks in Houston. Houston is the 4th largest city in America. It's 665 square miles, and they're limiting performing for tips to this 8-block area of the city. And not only that, but you must get a permit before you're allowed to perform, and you have to ask the property owners of the abutting public property where you want to play their permission before you're allowed to play.
This is completely frustrating to me. I have traveled all over the United States and the world, and I'll tell you something that is very satisfying and mesmerizing for me, whether it was Atlanta, Georgia, whether it was down at Fresno, California, whether it was in Fort Worth, Texas, I don't care. A lot of the street musicians that are out in front of various businesses actually enhance the business at those places.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's what makes so many of the cities a vibrant place, you know, whether it's New York City or New Orleans or Paris or London. Those great cities inspired Tony to want to perform. And then also many famous artists started out their career busking, from B.B. King to Janis Joplin to today's very famous Ed Sheeran. All of these artists started out. So inspired by that, too, Tony wanted to take his the craft that he loves and perform on the streets, but is unfortunately prevented from doing so.
Well, let me ask you this. Who complained about this and why?
You know, it's not clear to us. The law has been on the books since, we believe, 1914, so a very old law. And whenever Houston was going to host, it was some big conference in downtown, they decided to open up a very small part of the city for busking and hoping that it would make it a more warm and inviting place for visitors that were coming. And by instituting the permit scheme, it still deterred performing. So having both the limited small area and this permit requirement, we just don't see the musicians going to the streets as a result.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Molly, the way I interpret this, and tell me if I'm wrong. And it wouldn't happen, this would really be a fairy tale, but I'm going to give you this synopsis. If I went down to Houston, Texas, and I've been there many, many times, if I went down to Houston and found a nice little corner that had a bench and I started erupting into song, they would come by and arrest me?
They wouldn't necessarily arrest you, but they could write you a citation for up to $500. So, and each time you were to perform and play your instrument, you would be cited an individual citation. So you could accumulate multiple $500 fines for your playing. And since filing the lawsuit, we've had buskers performers from all over the country actually reach out to us, talking about how other cities have similar laws, and we haven't found one quite as broad as Houston's, but. One busker did get arrested in Miami for performing, so that can happen in some cities. We haven't heard of it happening in Houston, but for a musician, a $500 fine is no small. It's something small for anybody, but for someone who money is already tight, it's especially devastating.
Don't you think, and I'm sure you do, but don't people realize the aesthetic value of having someone that is an entertainer, someone singing, maybe playing the guitar on a street corner? It just adds, I think, to the friendliness of that community.
Absolutely. I think it really contributes to the warmth and the atmosphere of a city. It's going to make it a more vibrant place. So it's something Houston would benefit from adding. And, hearing from the people's response to the lawsuit, especially in Houston, they've said, we have people begging, panhandlers begging for money, but they're not doing anything. We'd so much rather, which, many artists aren't actually homeless. They want to, this is their job, the craft that they practice. But they'd much rather see people doing something and asking for money rather than just asking for money.
Absolutely. I remember it wasn't last year on television, but I think it was the year previous on that show called America's Got Talent. One of the singing groups actually was playing and singing on various street corners in New York City, and somebody came up to them and said, you guys are really good. You need to go on that television show. And I think they ended up in the top 6.
Right, those artists that I mentioned earlier that started out busking, it's a great free platform for musicians to get their voice out, and it's a really tough industry. So having access to the public and being able to perform is a great opportunity that musicians should be afforded, and that the First Amendment protects. That's what the crutch of this whole lawsuit is. The government doesn't get to ban speech based on its content. So here we have the law. The moment the performer asks for money while performing, that's when the law is triggered. If you perform and don't ask for tips, you're permitted to play. So it's really just a funny law that is inconsistent with the First Amendment, and we hope will be struck down.
Yeah, but you know something, Molly, of all the attorneys that have been on my program with your organization and others, it's going to get worse because the left absolutely wants us all to live in a little dark cave and not let our expressions or our voices be heard. This is just another assault on the First Amendment that was given to us by the blood, sweat, and tears of our forefathers.
Right, exactly. It's something that we should be aware of. I think whenever the government starts trying to censor art, that's a first step that it's starting to become a scary world. So, while this law may seem insignificant to most of us, it's these incremental steps that are chipping away at our liberty, and we can take these small steps to make sure we're retaining it and getting it back.
Well, aren't there some of these musicians that'll kind of say, that's enough, I'm not going to be held underneath a $500 fine, let's all band together, you sing one song, I'll play the next song, then someone else sing another song, and just basically stick their chin out and really test the law and see if these people are going to do anything?
Yeah, like I said, since filing, we've heard from buskers, and there is some illegal performing going on outside of the stadiums in Houston and things like that, but they're at the mercy of the police. So sometimes they get kicked off, sometimes they won't. It's just an unpredictable, and then some get cited, so it's just unpredictable. I think sometimes you'll be lucky and you won't cross paths with someone who's going to enforce it against you, but it's a deterrent, and that's a First Amendment problem.
Can you imagine the conversation in a prison when all of a sudden a new prisoner is thrown in a jail cell and the other prisoners say to him, "What are you in for, bub?" "Well, I was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow and I got arrested and thrown in jail." This is stupid.
Right. It's a strange world.
Well, tell us a little bit about what does Pacific Legal Foundation, what do you hope to achieve? Are you trying to change the law? Are you trying to get Houston and other cities to realize this is so ridiculous? I mean, what are you trying to do?
Sure. So every lawsuit we bring, there's a very thought-out strategy behind it. And so with this one, we think it's potentially a good vehicle to put the question in front of the court of what level of protection does commercial speech get. So this might qualify as commercial speech. And the United States Supreme Court has previously given that speech less protection. For some reason, since it's commercial, it should be treated differently than, an individual speech or something like that. And we would like to see all speech receiving the most protection. And so we think that this is a good opportunity to present why it doesn't make sense to treat those two types of speech differently. So we hope we hope to work our way up to the Supreme Court. That's always the goal. We also hope it sends a signal to other cities who are regulating street performing that, you have to make sure that your laws are constitutional and to take a harder look at those. We oftentimes see cities passing laws that are just plainly unconstitutional. And until someone knocks on their door and says, hey, this isn't consistent, with the Constitution, they don't take a hard look at them. So it's hopefully send a wake-up call to those cities, too.
Absolutely. Molly Williams with Pacific Legal Foundation, and please tell my audience how they can how they can follow this story and many others.
Absolutely. Please visit our website. It's pacificlegal.org. There you'll find the page featuring this lawsuit and many other ones that I encourage you to look into.
Do you play an instrument?
I played the violin for many years. I haven't played in quite some time.
Why don't you?
And I sing.
Why don't you test the waters a little bit on a very personal nature and go to Houston and stand there on a street corner and play your violin so you have firsthand information as to what's going to happen?
I think that's a great idea. I'm a native Houstonian, so I'm there all the time. So maybe I'll give it a go.
I heard that Houston's going to try to put together a professional football team next year.
Don't talk to me about their football team. I don't follow it too much, but we hope so.
All right. Well, God bless you, Molly Williams with Pacific Legal Foundation. You're a good sport, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. Nice lady right there. Can you imagine what in the world could possibly be wrong? And I've seen thousands of these people in New York City, California, across the country, that in major cities, you're going down the street and all of a sudden you hear this one, and many of them are excellent entertainers, whether it's with guitars or violins or trumpets or whatever, and the music, and it just makes you feel good. Oh, well, we got to stop this. And now various cities are trying to ban music and won't let them get any money for it. Drop by, they got a little hat or a little pot there, and maybe you can put maybe $1, $10 or whatever in there. Oh, we got to stop that. Why? It just, I think, adds to the aesthetic value of that community. Let's see where we're at right now. I think we'll do the weather, and then we'll take some more of your calls. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Please, I would love to hear from you. Maybe we should all sing on a street corner someplace and test that law a little bit. Don't forget our weather this hour being brought to you by our friends at Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. These folks really, really understand service to you with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, retirement planning, etc. All of this and so much more. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. They know what they're doing. Let me tell you, they are good. And they can help you, your family, and your business. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here comes Gina with the weather.
Looks like the clouds are going to stick around and a chance of some precipitation. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly cloudy skies for today. We are expecting a high of 42. Winds out of the southwest right around 5 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Expecting a low of 31. Tomorrow, as we get ready for the weekend, snow in the morning, rain showers possible by the afternoon. New snow accumulations of less than a half of an inch is possible. Plus, it is going to be a little bit breezy, and we are expecting a high of 41 by tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 30. Saturday, we will see a little bit of sunshine with a high of 42, but by Saturday night, more clouds rolling in with a low of 33. Sunday, chance of rain and or snow showers in the morning, then rain likely by the afternoon, and a high of 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zephyr.
Oh, Gina, thank you very much for an excellent forecast. And the weather brought to you this hour by folks that have offices in Burley and Rupert serving you with the best of accounting services, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, now I've got a few extra minutes here. And I really want you to give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587, and we'll talk about any item that you want to discuss. One of the things I was interested in is I noticed that in this morning's paper, they were talking about Idaho educators favoring retaining K through 12 science standards, and they had a big meeting at the State House in Boise yesterday. Now, somebody on the telephone the other day called me after my program, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was, and they said, well, what do you think about this? You know, our kids are being subjected in the schools about receiving and accepting the evolutionary belief of Darwin, if you will. And Darwell. Yeah, that was the guy that played second base for the Cubs for a while. But anyway, I can't accept it. Somebody said to me, well, what are your thoughts on this? I am a creationist. I absolutely abide and hold to the facts and truths of God as the supreme power and being that created the world and everything along with it. And I find it really hard to send kids to a public school and have their minds twisted and torn towards a Big Bang theory, a rock separation theory, to where we are today through the Darwinian evolution. I can't buy into it. I won't buy into it. Somebody said, are you going to have enough guts on your program to say this? And I guess I am. I just absolutely, it worries me that the acceptance of evolution over creationism. What are your thoughts? Give me a call and express your thoughts at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Our poor kids go to school and they listen to this evolution babble, and then on Sunday we take them to church and they're listening to a completely other vein of the story. And it's very confusing. I think as parents, we need to draw the line, toe the line, and make them understand exactly what our faith is and our beliefs are. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Do you agree or disagree with me?
Well, I agree. My point, one of my questions is that I've never heard anybody be able to answer. If monkeys turned into humans, why do we still have monkeys?
Well, okay, the crux of what you're saying is exactly the line. I was sitting out in front of my barn the other day, and if you read my weekly blog, I wrote about this last week in Cow Pies and Coffee Cups. I sat in front of that barn on my little bench on a fairly nice afternoon, and I looked at my feet, and there on the ground were a whole bunch of little rocks. And so I was watching to see if they would perhaps move to a more comfortable location, or if they were conversing with each other, or if they were morphing into something else, and I'll be a son of a gun. Never saw anything happen.
Were they Democrats?
Must have been.
But yeah, they say we come from a single cell and come out of the ocean. Well, why do we still have life in the ocean that hasn't transformed into human?
Yeah, the whole point is evolution. When people really start thinking about it, okay, they say we evolved into this and this and this. Well, when did it all stop?
Yeah. Why did it stop when we come into humans? Why haven't we evolved into something else?
Yeah, a rock is a rock is a rock is a rock. A flower is a flower, a flower, a flower. A horse is a horse. I mean, it goes on and on. When did it stop, Doug?
It doesn't.
There you go.
You got to read the Bible, and the Bible will tell you exactly what happened.
The Big Bang Theory is, to me, one of the most ridiculous fairy tales I've ever heard.
Yeah, and to someone who believes that, they say creation is one of the biggest fairy tales. But I'd rather believe the Bible than I would believe some man saying that it was a Big Bang.
I'd rather have faith in the unseen and the unknown than I would believing in people with no destiny or no future.
Exactly. And one thing about singing in the street, Zev, if you or I tried to do it, there is a law against disturbing the peace.
I was thinking about that just a moment ago after I had that segment on, and I got to thinking that if I went down and started singing on a street corner, they'd probably compare it to a bunch of cats in the alley at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would be in jail.
Anyway, God bless you.
All right. Take care, buddy. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
If you care to study intelligent design of the earth and humans, the eye alone is nothing short of it is a miracle. And just everything about communications, our cell phones, the reason why they work is because we've been given, it was enabled by a creator.
Yep.
How it works is not mine to question. But I do have to. I'm not the smartest guy that ever walked the face of the earth by any means at all. But I am smart enough to know that denying the existence of God and firmly believing that He doesn't exist is a really bad idea. Because I tell you, when you turn away from God and you truly believe that, and you have some sort of idea that you are somehow capable of trying to be God on earth or something.
Yeah.
You're a complete fool. I'm going to change the subject quick.
Real fast. I've only got 30 seconds left, and then I got to get into another subject. Real fast.
Yes. I just bought gas. Remember how the attack in Iran and all that dust stuff over there was supposed to raise the price of gas, but didn't?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we first elected Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, and they started to, they spent all that money for the stimulus?
Yes.
Trillion? And then we were doing the health care. Remember the price of gas was $4 a gallon?
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to the gas station, and I used to worry, and nobody was on the freeway. There was nobody traveling. Nobody was doing anything. I used to worry that we were dying. I was scared to death. Then I said to myself, what is going to happen? These people are killing our country.
And if they're put back in, I got to interrupt you, Randy, because I said 30 seconds and I gave you 90. If they get back in power, wait a minute. If they get back in power, that is going to be the worst thing that ever happened to America. Randy, God bless you, man. I'm in a hurry. Thanks so much. You bet. I want to remind you that if you're hungry and starving to death, I have some great places for you to go. Oh, you know what's coming. Listen to this. The AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Strawberry, cherry, and raspberry shakes for Valentine's Day. All the different burgers, like the famous Farmer Brown burger, and the fries, and the tater tots, and the special sauces. Oh, my goodness, it's delicious food at the AC Drive-In 601 East Main in Burley. And let's move over to Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley. Holy moly, have you had some of those street tacos? Oh, they're good. And that new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. And the breakfast burritos, I'm telling you, it's all there. And your friends are all there, too, at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, two locations of burgers, etc. These are the nicest people at 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And listen to this, after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, $1.29 for a hamburger and $1.59 for a cheeseburger. Holy moly, I love that. And different soup every day and nice people serving you at 2 locations of burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, that takes us over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Oh, food made the way you love it. They've got those delicious buffalo burgers and the cheesy broccoli spuds, and they've got cupcakes. Oh, they got delicious cupcakes. I love cupcakes. And a real nice place to go eat, and people that care about serving you to the utmost. Absolutely. Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And those are some great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. Call. I got time for one more quick call. If you want to give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Again, I want to reiterate that we are going to have Lunch Bunch today. I'm going to be scooting out of here a few moments early, and my old compadre Wheels is going to play a little song or so, and we're going to get on the highway and head down to Denny's, America's Diner, for our lunch bunch today, and I urge you to be in attendance. Come on, folks. And again, our thank yous for all the gift certificates are Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's. We really appreciate everything that those good folks do. Wheels, I forgot to ask you, are you, your mom, or your grandma, are you going to be at Lunch Bunch?
I am going to make it to Lunch Bunch, and your second option was, yes, my grandma's coming with me.
Wonderful. Okay, buddy. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you there. Right now, I think we'll turn it back over to you to take us up to CBS News. We will be back, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, in about 7 minutes. Oh, here we go in the last hour. Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. Good morning, good morning. Whew, it's been a long week, and a lot of things have transpired. Glad to have you aboard. Zeb at the Ranch brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires and the best of service. Don't forget, too, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And our friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living. We're going to be talking to Kelly Wiggins later on this morning at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now, let's see, I want to tell you a little bit about 7K Metals. You know, I guarantee you that this is really an intriguing thought, and I'm so thankful that Sharon Wilmot and Lon Hardy got a hold of me and wanted to explain more about how I could help build my financial future and security through the purchases of silver. Absolutely. You're basically creating your own security bank through silver purchases that come right to your home. And along with being a saving opportunity for you and your family, it's a valued treasure for all of your loved ones in the future. I urge you to find out more about silver and financial security and for the future. Call Lon Hardy at 312-8699 or Sharon Wilmot at 430-3259. Tell them I told you to call. 7K Metals and Silver Purchases. Really a good idea. Let's see what else have I got cooking here real quick. I don't want to overextend myself because I'm running a little bit late on certain things. I think that's about it. Let's see if Wheels, do we have the lovely Debbie Critchfield on the phone?
Yes, sir, we do.
Oh, she's always ready. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of our Cassia County School Days, I say good morning to the Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, Debbie Critchfield, good morning.
Good morning. Right back to you.
How are you?
I think I personally am doing good. I think the school district's plugging along, and we'll take advantage of the mild weather that we've got now.
I got to be honest with you. Here last week, we were sitting in the living room talking one night, and it's hard to believe we were talking about basketball and our grandsons and everything. Holy moly, half the school year's over already.
It is going fast. It feels fast to me too. And we'll get to spring before we know it, spring break, and then we'll slide into summer vacation and look around and wonder where the year went.
Absolutely. I've often wondered, and I'd like you to kind of lay this out for us a little bit, but I've wondered in the wintertime when all of a sudden you wake up and you throw back the curtains and there the weather has piled up with angel dandruff on the ground of about 7 or 8 or 9 inches of snow, and all of a sudden people within the school district go, holy moly, are we going to have school or not today? What do you do?
Well, we brace ourselves for the feedback that we get when we don't make the right decision, according to some. And snow days are probably one of the most complex decisions that our board and superintendent make every year. And we head into winter, and the goal is always to hold school, but certainly safety is a priority for our students. And so there's a lot of factors that influence the final decision, including the highway district, their ability to keep the road clear, certainly the weather forecast, and we make calls to principals, our own transportation people, area transportation. However, in all of those resources, the one thing that we don't have is a crystal ball. And so it's hard to know exactly what the weather will develop into. We make a call and try to get the information out.
Okay, let me throw some scenarios at you and see what your answers are. I really do not want to trade places with you because here you have to make a split-second decision, and I'm not exaggerating. Are you going to have school or not? Are you going to run the buses? Are you going to run the risk of having the buses on extremely poor traveling roads? Are you going to run the risk of all these children, maybe 35, 40 to a bus, being subjected to being in a snowbank? You've got to make these decisions. So how in the world can parents come back and say, well, you made the wrong one?
It happens. And I understand frustration on timing. The procedure has been that if you don't know by 6 p.m. the night before school starts, that we want to alert parents by 6 a.m. the morning of. Sometimes it's 6:15. In the case of, last week it was 6:17. I remember I got that phone call saying, hey, we need to get this information out to the parents. We also understand that parents are heading out the door to go to work. There are child care implications involved with that. For early morning bus riders, sometimes children are already on the bus. In every case, our lunch folks are at the schools with, breakfast and lunch, getting that prepared and having that ready. And so it may feel like for some people that, we are trying to make their life miserable, but we try to make the best decision we can with what we know at the time.
Absolutely. Now, I really sit back and I'm thinking here right now, what do you do in planning stages or meetings to say, okay, I'm going to call Fred and you call Jim and you call this? I mean, what kind of a network of information do you have to lay out?
Well, we are appreciative that we've got a communication system where we are able to deliver a phone call, an email, a text message for people who've provided a cell phone number immediately to families, and then, of course, we've got communication in the staff, and we get a hold of administrators. And, of course, and you're on my email distribution list for these types of events that we email out to the media and to the news, so that those folks can help partner. Our website, our Facebook page, I've got a long list that when that happens, I, go down this checklist, make sure I've got all the bases covered. In spite of all of those things, we hear later, well, I didn't find out until 8, or I didn't get this, or I didn't get that. Nothing is 100% foolproof, but we do try then, if someone didn't get contacted, to say, all right, give us your information. Or on the other side of that, we've had people that were frustrated that my child left school a year ago. Why am I still in your system? I got awakened early in the morning, and I don't have a kid in school. And again, we apologize. Let's get your name. And we try to make it as quick and to be as responsive about it as we can, knowing that nothing is perfect.
Well, let me say this, and it's me saying it, not you. The school, any school, is not the babysitter or the foster parent of that child. And if the weather looks pretty gnarly and very, very dangerous to have buses on the road, and you make the decision, you've made the decision on a safety matter, I cannot understand how any parent can come back on you and yell, scream, and holler because they had to make changes and figure out what to do with their kids.
I appreciate you bringing this point up because ultimately it is a parent's decision. If I had a message come to me that was, an irate parent that was upset that they couldn't get out of their driveway, and they said, "Are you going to come and shovel my driveway so that I can get my car out?"
Oh my! Oh my!
Obviously, they were being facetious. Nonetheless, we do receive that kind of animosity, and so my response always to any parent that is unsure or whatever, don't put your child on the bus. If you think we've made the wrong decision or if we haven't made the right call in the moment with the information we have, you have the right as a parent. Leave them home, pick them up, whatever that is. Call the school and say, my roads are unsafe, or for whatever circumstances, I can't get out of my driveway this morning. We're going to be late or we're not coming in. And schools aren't going to penalize for that.
Well, it just seems like all of society, and we're seeing it lessened every day, unfortunately, people are not willing to take and assume their own responsibility.
Like I said, people are in charge of their own families and their own decisions. We make decisions, based on the goal to have kids safely at school. And you can't push that off onto the school if you're going to make the decision. That's okay too. We want people to be a part of that. And we hope that as we get kids to and from school, things change too. And occasionally we've had to release early. And that is personally is the worst situation in the world because we're not going to send kids home not knowing that, what's there. For many students, and this could be another great segment, the 2 meals that they have at school are the 2 secure meals that they have in their day, frankly. There's safety issues involved with leaving children home unattended and unsupervised. And so we're not so concerned with, we've got to get money for attendance, and we're just, all we care about is having kids in class. We want kids to be safe. But we also recognize that there are a lot of other factors that go into having a kid at school or calling it off.
Debbie, I've only got a minute and a half left, but I want to ask you this. Excuse me, when you design a school calendar year and the school board sits down and yay or nay, how many snow days or weather days can you have before you run into a problem of not having sufficient days for the curriculum?
It depends year to year. It can go anywhere from 5 to 9. It depends on what they build into the calendar. You remember, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we had just the crazy flooding and the crazy snow, and we were out of school for snow days more than what we had built into the calendar. And so the state of Idaho requires that students are in school by hours, actually, not by days. And so what we did was we extended the day by 4 to 5 minutes for the remainder of the year to make up that requirement, and it wasn't anything that anyone felt. And so we do have the ability, we've got some wiggle room in there, and if we go over, we'll make adjustments that don't feel like it's a burden on folks.
Is there, and I'm sure there is, a hotline number for people when they get out of bed in the morning and they open the curtain and they go, holy moly, I don't think Johnny's going to school today? Is there a number they can call?
The hotline number, frankly, is the website. That is the very first place that we post information. We figure that seems to be the most central place, and we want to drive traffic to that. So if someone wakes up and isn't sure, go to the website. It will tell you. And if you don't see it posted, refresh the browser so that it can appear. And then we get that information out as quickly as possible. And if a family makes a decision that, well, I'm not going to send my kid today before the school does, then call and explain the absence.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to touch on? I've got exactly 1 minute left.
Next week, students in Cassia are going to be out of school for 2 days. And the reason for that is teachers are going to be learning about strategies that will improve their teaching in the classroom with the goal of improving and advancing student achievement. And so if you see Cassia students out and about, know that their teachers are busy improving their professional skills so that it will make a difference for student outcomes.
Absolutely. This lady, over the years, how many years have you and I been working together on this Cassia County School Days? What, 6, 7 or something like that?
I'm thinking 6, yeah.
That's what I thought, too. I have never been let down by her. She's always got everything prepared and ready to go. Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, God bless you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you much. Very interesting about snow days, and appreciate Debbie coming on the program this morning. I want to take just a little time and tell you about some really, really nice folks, and I'm going to talk about Patterson's Electronics at 421 East Main in Burley. They've been with us for quite some time on this program, and I'll tell you what, they do have all of your electronic needs. I mean, are you looking for home theater systems? They've got them. Looking for surveillance cameras for your property? They've got them. How about car stereos and speakers? Whoa, boy, they got the new car audio systems in right now, the new models. They've got them. Along with all your TVs from Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, LG TVs. They've got all of it. Absolutely. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and nice people to work with. Patterson's Electronics, 421 East Main in Burley. The number to call, Curtis and Lorena and the staff, 678-6997. Don't forget Patterson's in Burley. And real quick, before we go any further, I'd like to acknowledge our friends over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Holy moly, old Jeff and the crew over there. They are having, and this has been an annual event, excuse me for that frog, I apologize, ever since I can remember, they've had a special flooring event in January. That's right. You can save a lot of money. You can carpet your entire home with prices on carpet that are unheard of. Listen, they give you 3 choices. Standard carpet price, $69. Better carpet price, $89. And the Primo, $99. You better check it out and carpet your home. New carpeting. And same for luxury vinyl. They've got 3 distinct prices on that, too. Find out more at a place that helps you with the beautification and the comfortization of your home. And that's Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Oberland in Burley. Jeff and the crew are waiting right this minute to serve you. Wheels, do we have that lovely lady on the phone, Sanisha from Western Way Services?
Yes, sir, we do.
You are doing a good job this morning. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say good morning to a lady that represents one of our great advertisers, and that's, of course, Western Waste Services, 734-6969. Sanisha, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm old and I'm fat, but we're plugging on, I'll tell you that. Hey, listen, I was talking to some folks, and I got a note, and I think it's a very interesting and intriguing project that you've got, where literally Western Waste Services wants to trash cancer, and I think this is just really great. What in the world, explain to us, the Power in Pink program?
Well, people are able to call in and swap out one of their current cards for a pink card, and the first initial one is a $50 donation, and then after that, it's $25 a year, and all of the money stays local and is helping local people with their screenings and just everything that comes along with breast cancer.
You know, and it's really easy to do. Give us a scenario. I'm also a customer, and I want to make that transition to help fight cancer also. But tell them, what do they do? What do they just have to call the number, or what happens?
Yeah, just give us a call. Any of our girls would be happy to help, and we'll take your donation, and that donation does go to St. Luke's, and our other one is North Canyon, and we've been supporting both of them. St. Luke's has a mammo coach that they go out and bring breast screens to people who can't make it into the hospital. And North Canyon has a 3D mammography machine, which makes it to where women aren't having to come back when there's a misread. So it's just been a lot better with the testing.
You know, I can't say enough about the quality of the people that I have on this program. And Western Waste Services is a company that I've worked with now for a long, long time. I don't know whose idea this was, but I think it's a great idea, and I certainly hope they got a great big attaboy and a slap on the back.
I hope so, too, and I hope our pink cards have more women more aware of going in and getting screened yearly.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about Western Waste in general, Sanisha, if you don't mind. This is a company that absolutely is taking care of a growing problem all over the state of Idaho, and for that matter, any state, and that's what to do with garbage. And you folks are really on top of it, aren't you?
We do. We love taking the garbage.
And what are some of the services that you provide besides the Power in Pink program? Tell us a little bit about all the different, the different size containers that they can leave off at their home, fill them up, and then you'll come and get them, correct?
Yeah, you bet. We do temporary dumpsters, and you can call in and, if you need any help trying to figure out how big of a dumpster you would need for any of your projects, call in. We're happy to help you figure it out. We do big construction roll-off. We do portable toilets for any of your parties or construction jobs or anything like that. We help with that. And then we do Go Mini storage units as well.
You know, I've had a question. I many times get people to call me after the program, and they say, well, we're new in the area, and we don't know if we're within the pickup service of Western Waste to get on their garbage pickup once a week. What do you tell people?
Just give us a call, and we'll help look up your address and see if you're in our area. And we hope we get to service your trash. Our guys are amazing. They always go the extra mile to make sure your area is clean after pickups. And forgot to put your trash out, they can run up and grab it for you. We're a really good company, and we do a good job.
Okay, and I want you to sum up one more time the Power in Pink program with the trash carts. Tell us a little bit about what people need to do and why it's so important they switch from the gray-colored cart to the pink, and where the proceeds go.
All right, so just give us a call at our office. Our number is 734-6969. And you do your first initial $50 donation, and we swap out your current cart for a pink one. And then after that, it's $25 a year, and that money goes to either St. Luke's or North Canyon Medical in Gooding. And it's just a great way to show your neighbors support and bring awareness to other people in the community when they see that pink cart on the side of the road on garbage day.
Well, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the program this morning and telling us all about the Power in Pink program with Western Waste Services. Always at your disposal. The number to call, 734-6969. You did such a great job, I think you should march right into the boss's office and say you want a raise.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, Sanisha. God bless. Thank you for being on the program.
Thanks, Deb. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you much. Boy, these folks are really, really good folks. Western Waste Services, I mean, whether it's on the route service or the dumpsters or the Go Mini storage units, whatever, and now the Power in Pink program, I really salute them and thank them. Western Waste Services, thank you very much. Let's see, Lunch Bunch today at 11:30. Hope you're there at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. And we've got gift certificates to give away. And I want to thank again Walmart and Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's, all of those good folks. And we certainly hope that you will be there at 11:30 today. Zeb's Lunch Bunch at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. Let's see, what else have I got cooking? Wheels is going to be there with his grandma. He already told us that. I want to take just a moment. We're going to be leaving early today to get to Lunch Bunch. And I want to mention that next Monday on the program is going to be a big, big day. We've got a lot of interesting guests, including Trent from the Les Schwab Tire Center on Overland in Burley. Trent's going to be on the air with us. Rick Manning back in D.C. is going to try to sort out this great big mess with the Democrats and the impeachment. And then Frosty Woldridge is going to be on the program. And then a very interesting man that we can't call him, he calls us, because literally he is not, he does not want anybody to know where he is in the United States because of the danger. And that's Sargis Sangare. And we're going to tell you more about him come Monday morning. And then at 10:30 on Monday, it's the Idaho Legislative Update, and we will be featuring at 10:30 in the show sponsored by Handy Truck Lines. This next Monday, it's going to be Senator Kelly Anthon. But right now, we're going to send it over to our main studio, and here is Wheels.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Thank you. And I'm in kind of a hurry-up mode right now because Lunch Bunch coming up in less than an hour. But right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and we have a lovely lady on the air with us that... You talk about a neat idea, a neat place to live for seniors, and we're talking about Greystone Crossing, senior living at 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. Hello, Kelly Wiggins. How are you?
I'm doing great, Zeb. How are you today?
Oh, I'm peachy. And, of course, that goes right along. This is National Pie Day. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. What kind of pie are you going to have today at Lunch Bunch?
If I can find peach pie, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have that. I don't think there's ever been a pie made that I dislike, but I love peach pie better than others.
You know, peach pie and peach cobbler is one of our favorites around here. We do dessert well at Greystone Crossing, and we don't miss out, I'll tell you.
The next time that you make peach cobbler, if I don't get a call, even if you have to call me collect, call me and I'll be there. I guarantee it.
Okay, I'll do it.
What's going on at Greystone Crossing Senior Living?
Well, you know, we're not too affected by the winter. We've got a beautiful fireplace in our common living room, and each of the residents have their own heat that they are in thermostat that they get to regulate the temperature in their rooms, and that seems to be a pretty nice feature because, you know, some of us like it hot and some of us like it cold. Mm-hmm. So everybody's just kind of happy around here this winter.
You know, that's the thing. I noticed that when I took the tour, the beauty and the thought that was put into that place, Greystone Crossing, the people that reside there, it's like home.
It is. You know, recently we've kind of gotten hooked on the crossword puzzles in the paper, and so got one gal who can't see, so she can't read, but she did them for years. Mm-hmm. And our meal times are just a real fun time. Lately we've been doing the crosswords. We do a lot of trivia stuff. Some of them watch programs where they're traveling, and they come out and tell us where they traveled today or what cooking show they were learning something on. And we learned about capers today. So we really like to instigate and keep the conversation going, and we just seem to have a lot of fun.
Now, who does all the cooking over there? Is that your task?
Well, you're talking to her now, yeah, and I'll tell you what, from years ago and growing up here on a local farm with a few generations around me, I've always said that my grandmother gave me the need to feed. And I had a friend tour the facility the other day that I've known my entire life, and one of the things she said was, Kelly, your mom made bread all the time. I'll bet your bread's pretty good. And, I kind of make it the same way she did. And so we've got a lot of homemade food and homegrown food. Our beef comes from a local provider. It's organically grown. And we just take a lot of pride in what we eat around here.
I'm beginning to think I'm going to sound like I'm begging, but did I hear you say that you make homemade bread?
Every week.
Oh, my. Well, tell us a little bit about the procedure for seniors that are listening to this right now, and they say, you know what, I just don't think I want to stay here at this big house all by myself, and I'd like to look at Greystone Crossing. What do they do?
Just give us a call at 208. Why can I not think of my number right now?
Let me help you. 208-650.
4979.
There you go.
Here in Hayburn, and for the old timers, we're on Al Fresco Road, right across the street from the fire department, just down the street about a block. So you can drop by. Let us know you're coming because we want to meet you at the door and let you in. It's for our residents. It's not an open door. You ring the doorbell, and we let you in just like a home because we are simply a 12-bedroom 14-bathroom home.
Absolutely. Don't be ever embarrassed about forgetting numbers, because I remember about 4 or 5 years ago at a kind of a banquet setting, I went to introduce my wife, and I went totally blank. So don't ever be embarrassed. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just said,
probably still in trouble over that.
I just said, this is my lovely roommate. And I left it at that. Anyway, tell us about some of the other amenities.
We also have a way they can check out our facility if they want to get their 6-year-old grandkid who knows electronics better than I do, and go to GreystonCrossing.com. We've got a really nice virtual tour of the rooms and the facility and the grounds outside.
Absolutely. Quickly, tell us about some of the amenities that are available to the people that reside there. I mean, the transportation, et cetera. Tell us about that quickly.
You bet. Well, we provide 3 meals a day plus snacks, and your housekeeping. We come in and do your housekeeping. If you need your laundry done, we can arrange that. And we also provide local transportation. And a lot of people think local transportation is just going to the doctor. But if you've got a friend you want to visit, someone that's in the hospital, or just go to a family's house for a couple of hours, and it's here local, we're happy to take you and bring you back. Your hair appointments, things like that. Now, in our facility, each of the rooms have their own bathroom, barrier-free, a shower and bathroom area, a little kitchenette. But we also have a bathing room on site. So if you like to take a bath and soak, you can do that safely here.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. We talked about the amenities. We talked about peach cobbler. We talked about homemade bread. Holy moly, the phone's going to ring off the hook. The number to call, 208-650-4979. Kelly and Matt Wiggins, God bless you at Greystone Crossing Senior Living. I think you're going to hear a lot more from a lot of people.
Thank you very much. We're excited for the calls, and thank you for what you do for our community and to help promote the local businesses.
God bless you, Kelly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're going to do the weather forecast, and the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com, and check out all the delicious meats, the sausages, the tri-tips, the pork ribs, the bacons, the bratwurst. I love bratwurst. All of this and more. Just don't forget Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like the clouds are going to stick around and a chance of some precipitation. Here's a look at your weather forecast. Mostly cloudy skies for today. We are expecting a high of 42, winds out of the southwest right around 5 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 31. Tomorrow, as we get ready for the weekend, snow in the morning, rain showers possible by the afternoon. New snow accumulations of less than a half of an inch is possible. Plus, it is going to be a little bit breezy, and we are expecting a high of 41 by tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 30. Saturday, we will see a little bit of sunshine with a high of 42, but by Saturday night, more clouds rolling in with a low of 33. Sunday, chance of rain and or snow showers in the morning, then rain likely by the afternoon, and a high of 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zep at the Rain.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, the weather brought to you this hour by Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Scarrow's Meats. changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. My dear friend Wheels, over at the station, has been kind enough on Thursdays once a month when we have lunch bunch. He's going to kind of pad the time a little bit with music as we amble on down to Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, for our lunch bunch. Before I leave, I want to remind you about all 7 locations of the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They've got all the tires that'll get you through any kind of weather. And don't forget Farmers, Ranchers, dairymen. They've got all your tires for your loaders and, of course, your backhoes and your skid steers. They've got tires for everything. And the main thing is service. They've got those service trucks ready to roll to serve you all the time, anytime. So you be sure and get a hold of them today. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, not only with the tires, but also with the best of brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, but above all, the best in service to you. Be sure and get a hold of Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wheels, old buddy, old pal, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you play a few tunes. I'm going to jump onto the highway and head for Lunch Bunch, to which we hope you're there with your grandma. And I want to extend to everybody out there in the audience, thank you for making this a great, fun week on our program with a lot of interesting topics and guests. And we always wrap up the show by saying the way things were are the way things ought to be. But the 4 main words that we adhere to every day on the show: in God we trust. Have a great weekend. We'll be back here Monday at 8:06.